Joe Mauer wins the Twins' second MVP award in 4 seasons. Justin Morneau won it back in 2006. This is in a flash presented by AT&T. Good to see you, as always. I'm Lauren Shehadi. Scott Miller, our MLB columnist, joining us now on the other line. Scott, the AL batting champ, Gold Glove winner. A lot of people saying this was a lock, but do you think Joe Mauer deserved this award?
Yeah, no question. He earned 27 of the 28 first-place votes. And really, Lauren, I thought the only knocks you heard against Mauer came back around maybe in August when people said, you know, if the Twins look like they're not going to be in the race, and if they're not in the race, you know, I don't know that you can have a guy from a team that's out of contention win the MVP. I disagreed with that. Even at the time, I thought Joe Mauer clearly, given his offensive numbers, given the position he plays, the most important position on the field, I thought even if the Twins had fallen out of contention, Lauren, that Mauer still should have been the guy. But the fact that they chased down and caught Detroit in September, I think it's a slam dunk. Joe Mauer's the guy.
Well, that's an interesting point, Scott, because the 2 Cy Young Award winners didn't make the playoffs, their teams.
Right, yeah, exactly. So for these awards are always a funny thing because, you know, you have a block of voters that say, you know, the guys that win ought to be on contending teams, and then there are others that say it isn't so important. You know, it kind of seems to take on a life of its own each year. But, yeah, I think there are more people that think the Most Valuable Player award should be for a guy that helps push his team into the postseason than there are people that believe that for the Cy Young, because the Cy Young usually turns out to be the most impressive individual pitcher, whereas the definition of a most valuable player becomes a little nebulous. You have people saying, well, most valuable means not only statistics-wise, but a guy that helps carry his team deep into the season. You have other guys that say most valuable player, well, it should be more of a Player of the Year award. I think the Cy Young award is more Player of the Year, or at least Pitcher of the Year, whereas you know, MVP is it's kind of a fluid award that seems to be a little different each year.
You mentioned, Scott, that catcher is such an important position, but Mauer just the 8th catcher to win this award in the American League. Why is it so difficult at that position?
Well, because I think a catcher's job, Lauren, is so difficult. Catchers traditionally, by and large, don't put up the offensive numbers as other players at other positions do, partly, I think, because the position's so demanding. Number one, if you have a guy that's going to put up huge offensive numbers, by and large, that guy eventually gets moved away from catcher because behind the plate you get beat up so much, you know, your knees and other parts of your body, and I think historically, you know, there have been guys where managers have early in their career moved them out from behind the plate for this fear. And, you know, Mauer's undergone his share of injuries, and there have been, the past few years, people both in Minnesota and nationally that say, you know, boy, Joe Mauer isn't going to be a catcher forever. The Twins ought to think of moving him to first base or wherever it might be to save him. But I think that's one reason why catchers don't historically haven't won the award, because number one, guys have been moved out from behind the plate because for preservation reasons, and secondly, you know, because of that, guys that do remain behind the plate, they have to call a game. They have so many responsibilities with pitching and defensively that sometimes that takes away from their offense.
Well, he's 26 years old. He is now an MVP, 3 batting titles, 2 Golden Gloves. I'm 26 years old. I feel like I need to keep up. Talk to me about long-term potential.
He's just phenomenal. I mean, the thing that stands out about Joe Mauer to me, Lauren, is, you know, aside from that batting title, he also led the American League in on-base percentage, 444, and with a 587 slugging percentage. Now, in doing that, Mauer this year became the first catcher ever in baseball history to lead his league in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. I mean, that you're talking the historical arc that Mauer is on right now, at least at 26, is unprecedented.
That is Scott Miller within a flash presented by AT&T for both of us. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.